this video, I shall be sharing some very important information about verbs. You might wonder why I have chosen verbs. Well, all the grammar textbook, in fact, every sentence begins with a noun or a noun supporter. This is because verbs are the toughest among all parts of speech. There are so many varieties of them. For every variety, there are so many exceptions. Like a noun, a verb is an integral part of every sentence. We require a noun and a verb to complete a sentence, a minimum of 2 words, like the birds fly. But what happens, what I begin with the noun, like if I start a sentence with the tree, then I have to say is tall. If I begin the sentence like the trees, then I have to say are tall. So this is what makes it very difficult for us to see that the verb always agrees with the noun. Because of the exceptions to the rule, because of the variety of verbs, we are confused as to which one to use, when to use, how to use, and how to apply it in a sentence. All these details will be completely explained in this video. So without wasting much time, let me begin. Now let me ask you a simple question as to what a verb is. I know I will get an answer, most probably, that it's a word of action. You're right. Words describe an action. Let us look at these sentences carefully. All the sentences are complete and grammatically correct, and all the verbs have been underlined. The first sentence, it is a bright day. The boys were noisy. There was a big sound yesterday night. I am already late to work. There were many boys under a tree. When we look carefully at these sentences, we realize that none of the underlined words are active words, that is, active verbs. That means to say that a verb is a word of action would be an incomplete definition. Then what else does a verb do? Here are the other functions of a verb. The first one, a verb describes an action. The boy swims confidently. The girls dance gracefully. The birds fly in the sky, and the river flows down the hill. When we look at these sentences, we know that all the verbs used there are action words. Verbs like run, read, write, all of them are action words. That is one category, one function. The second function, verbs describe a state of being or a condition. Nina believes in hard work. She dreams of a startup. Words like wonder, think, dream, these are all describing a fact, describing a state of the person. They do not necessarily imply an action. Some verbs describe an occurrence or a being. An occurrence means what happened, like the ICC World Cup took place in the year ... The Battle of Plassey was fought ... These verbs describe an action that happened some time back. Being means what? In what state it is. Like road is long and winding. The surface feels very rough. These feels and all tell us something in what state the noun is. This is another function of a verb. The last function and the most important function of a verb is that they are indicators of time. Verb means tense. They are time indicators. That means they indicate when an action took place, when an action will take place, or whether the action is going on. Without the verbs, we cannot identify the time of any action. That is a most important function. So we have concluded that there are 4 important functions of a verb. One verb in a sentence, simple present, simple past. Geeta teaches maths. Geeta taught maths for grade 5. The boys play noisily. The boys played noisily. Varun rates his diary daily. Varun wrote his diary yesterday. Suraj generally walks 5 kilometers. Yesterday he walked 2 kilometers. So simple present and simple past, only one verb is required to complete the action and the time of action. Time means tense. So that's why probably they are called simple present and simple past. Next one, 2 verbs in a given sentence. Present perfect, past perfect. My mother has finished cooking. My mother had finished cooking. Singers finished singing. The singers had finished singing. The painter has finished painting. The painter had finished painting. The doctor has seen the patient. The doctor had seen the patient. There is another set of two verbs. Present continuous, past continuous. My mother is cooking. My mother was cooking. The girls are dancing. The girls were dancing. The painters are painting. The painters were painting. The farmers are plowing the field. The farmers were plowing the field. The next one, three verbs. Now, my mother has been cooking in the kitchen since morning. My mother had been cooking in the kitchen since morning. The painters have been painting the wall since Monday. The painters had been painting the wall since Monday. It has been raining since yesterday morning. It had been raining since yesterday morning. So these sentences tell us that there can be more than a verb in a given sentence. The last is four verbs in a sentence, a very tentative answer. I would have been sleeping but for the disturbance. I will have been sleeping but for the disturbance. Present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. He would have been teaching maths for 5 years by another year. He will have been teaching maths for 5 years in another year. So we learned that there can be 1, 2, 3, 4 verbs in the given sentence. The problem is not how many verbs can be there in a sentence. The problem is when we have 2 or more verbs, how do we identify the tense of the verb? To know that answer, watch my next video.